Imagine you are the most powerful man on earth. Your empire stretches from the mountains of western Iran to the edges of the known world. Every general, every priest, every noble bows before you. And yet, every night, you wake up in a cold sweat because of a dream. A dream about a baby who hasn't even been born yet. What would you do? If you answered, "Order that baby killed," you might just be Astyages, the last king of the Median Empire. And you're about to make the single worst decision in Persian history. The year is roughly 600 BCE. We're in Ecbatana, modern-day Hamadan in northwestern Iran, a city of cold winters, high plateaus, and stone walls that feel eternal. Astyages has ruled the Median Empire for over 2 decades. The Medes were the first Iranian-speaking people to build something that genuinely deserved the name empire, and Astyages sat at the very top of it. Then came the dream. His daughter Mandane, not yet married, appeared in his dream, and from her body a flood of water poured out so massive, so unstoppable, that it drowned all of Asia. The court priests, the Magi, were his official dream interpreters. Their verdict: her child will one day take your throne. A lesser king might have brushed it off. Astyages did not. He arranged a marriage, but not to a Median nobleman. He chose a Persian, a man from a subordinate tribe, someone he considered beneath royal rank. The thinking was simple: dilute the bloodline, weaken the heir before it's even born. It didn't work. Mandane got pregnant, and then he had the second dream. A vine grew from her womb and spread until it covered the entire continent. Same verdict from the Magi, same chilling conclusion: the child will rule in your place. When the baby arrived, Astyages summoned his most trusted general, a man named Harpagus, a man who had served him loyally for years, and he gave him a single, monstrous instruction: take the infant, kill it, leave no trace. Harpagus froze, not because he was brave, but because he was calculating. He didn't want to kill the child, but he also didn't want to openly refuse the king. So he did what frightened men under tyrants always do. He passed the order down the chain. He gave the baby to a shepherd named Mithridates, with instructions to leave it exposed on a mountainside to die. The shepherd didn't do it either. He and his wife had just lost a child to a stillbirth. They raised the infant as their own. That infant was Cyrus, the future Cyrus the Great. The man who would one day fold the entire Median Empire into something so vast, it would redefine what power even meant. Years passed. The boy grew. And somehow, inevitably, the truth reached Astyages. The child had not been killed. Harpagus had defied him, and now that child was alive, healthy, and Persian. Here is where Astyages reveals exactly who he is. He didn't execute Harpagus publicly. He didn't strip him of rank. He didn't exile him. He invited him to dinner. A royal banquet. A warm welcome. Fine food. Fine wine. Pleasant conversation. Harpagus ate well. And when the meal was finished, the servants brought out one final covered dish. They placed it in front of Harpagus. They lifted the lid. Inside was the head, the hands, and the feet of Harpagus's own son. The rest, the parts Harpagus had just consumed, were in his stomach. Herodotus records what happened next with almost unbearable restraint. Harpagus did not scream, did not weep, did not collapse. He looked at the dish, looked at the king, and said, "Whatever the king does pleases me." Then he took the remains home. Astyages thought this was power. Control through total psychological domination. What he had actually done in that single dinner was manufacture the most dangerous enemy in his empire. A man who had nothing left to lose. A man who would remember. 550 BCE. Cyrus, now grown, now leading the Persian tribes, raises the banner of revolt against Median rule. Astyages mobilizes his army. He appoints Harpagus to lead it. Think about that choice for a moment. He appointed the man whose son he had cooked and served to command the army that would defend him. Harpagus marched his forces to the front lines, and then he defected. He crossed over to Cyrus, taking a massive portion of the Median army with him. Not a battle, a handover. Soldiers walked away from their king rather than fight for him. The Babylonian Nabonidus Chronicle, one of the most reliable contemporary sources we have, corroborates the broad shape of this collapse. The army didn't lose, it simply dissolved. Astyages was captured. And here is the final devastating irony. Cyrus, the child he had ordered killed, the man born from his own daughter, treated him relatively well, kept him alive, gave him a comfortable captivity. The story of Astyages is not really about a prophecy coming true. Prophecies are a narrative convenience, a way ancient historians gave shape to what was always a human story. It's really about this, a ruler so consumed by the fear of being overthrown that every act of violence he committed to prevent it created exactly the enemy who would bring it about. He made Cyrus possible by not killing him. He made Harpagus dangerous by humiliating him. He made the Persians ready to revolt by taxing and oppressing them for generations. And then, with breathtaking blindness, he handed command of his own defense to the man he had destroyed most completely. The Median Empire didn't fall because of Cyrus's brilliance. It fell because Astyages built it into a machine for producing enemies. And in the end, every one of them was waiting.